probably be finished if you still dev in Unity. I don't think so. I don't think that's entirely true. What would be considered as finished? Like, I think game development is not this linear curve of like completion rate. Sometimes the curve go down. Sometimes it do go down. You know what I mean? Sometimes it do go down. Sometimes it goes up. Sometimes it's fucking straight and nothing's getting really done necessarily. I don't think the engine matters more so over the person using the engine at the end of the day. Put it in off topic. What'd you do? Brother, what do you mean? You didn't fix your condenser mic. You attached some fucking acoustic foam on it. What does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean fixed your condenser mic? Brother, all you did is strap on some foam on it. What's that gonna do? What the hell is that gonna do? The hell is that? It can finally stream? Brother, you could have streamed beforehand, before you strapping on foam on top of it. You cut out all the noise it was picking up? You could have just used a, what do I use? I got multiple filters on. Wait, hold on. Where the fuck I am? I got a limiter. I got a gain increase. I got a compressor. I got a noise gate. I got a 3-band equalizer. I also got this one so I can sound manly. So I can sound extremely manly. Anyways, are we live on YouTube? We should be, right? There we go. Yeah, live on YouTube. You also got some tilted panels behind you. Could use some alignment. It's because I tilted my camera. They're not tilted. Okay. Hey, shut up, man. How about you? We going old school? Old school would be getting a headset mic and using the headset mic. That's old school. So yesterday off stream, I made it so you can hold the, hold on. Okay, I made it so you can, what the fuck? No, don't do that. There you go. I made it so you can hold the attack button. Watch this.
Shit, my
you can now hold it. And it actually feels great. And I also found out you can deal critical damage by aiming at someone's head. Get away from me. I'm stuck. Help. I'm dabbing. I can't see shit. Open your eyes. So you can like hold the attack. It's kind of cool, but ideally we would change to a strong attack. Fred, thank you for the 24 months. 2 years. 2 years. Check off topic. Insane AI generated image. I can't believe. Why would you post that? What the fuck is that, man? Delete that. Get that out of here. Man, get that out of here. Service fucking curse. What happened to this stream? What happened? What is that abomination? I don't know. It looks like a raisin. AI is a mistake, actually, though, truly. And then you got plebs that are like, AI is perfectly fine. Finally, art is accessible. Bitch, it was always accessible. You got pencils in your drawer. What do you mean? Anyways, yeah, you can hold the button. What I'd want to do is make it so we two-hand the weapon over time. That would be the actual strong attack. But this actually feels really good, being able to just like hold the key, and then when you release, it actually does the slice. The slicer. Like, actually feels pretty good. Also, did you see Twitter when Sora got released? Hollywood is dead. Movies are going to be producers and writers in a room typing away. More like, if that happens, humans are going to just, like... they're just going to be eating slop. Like, we're already eating slop, like, physically, but now, like, we're going to be eating slop with our eyeballs and processing slop. It's like, great, good job. You just... Stupid fucking AI assholes... ruining the internet, ruining everything. Good job. You did it. You did it. You got what you wanted. Can you stand on the sword you throw into the wall? No. That's technically supposed to be an arrow, so... I'm watching a movie made with AI. They're already, like... It's becoming a standard now to, like, see AI commercials. It's actually so dog shit. I'd rather watch a cringy commercial made with, like, even the slightest bit of effort than the fucking shitty AI stuff. I think everyone was like, AI is going to be so cost efficient. They're now making an animated movie with it that costs more than 90%, 99% of indie films. My partner's father was telling me, I don't keep up to date on any AI shit, I don't care. But what he was telling me is apparently they're trying to find ways to automate the process of responding to someone saying thank you. Because apparently when someone says thank you, because people have the tendency of saying thank you to the AI for some fucking reason, that actually eats up resources. So just saying thank you apparently just eats up a shit ton of resources. They're trying to find a way of just like saving money and resources by just automating that entire process. Apparently. Supposedly. I wouldn't doubt it. Sora 2 can make Stephen Hawking fight in an MMA ring. I think that's a pretty good use of AI. Yeah, like... Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, but can AI can give us Crimson Twerk compilation number 36? Listen, as every day goes by, the cyberpunk world becomes even closer. I feel like AI was a good thing, but then, you know, tech bros got their hands on it and it became the worst thing on the planet. We all knew that it would be used incorrectly. Any technology is always used incorrectly. Anyways, that's what I did off stream. I got this going. What else did I do? I don't remember. I wouldn't really consider that as strong attacks, though. Just make the AI say no problem, bro, right? That's all you need. Anyways, I don't care about AI. It's the world's own undoing. Not my problem. Well, it is kind of my problem, but like, whatever. You guys can fuck it up yourselves. I don't think AI was ever a good thing. I'm gonna be honest. I think it removes all critical thought. It just increases the amount of botting that we have on the internet. And it has become such a large problem that like social media is like almost unusable if you're on like, if you're reading comment sections. That being said, you should have never been reading comment sections anyways, but if they make AI that makes good games, then it's going to be our problem. I hope it doesn't come to this point. I think we have larger issues if we get to that point, because then that means that AI would be solving many different sections of media. And no one will probably be able to use their computer. So, you know, that's the least of our issues. That's the least of our problem. If it gets to that point. Yeah. Anyways, I think the only solution to all of this is the government fucking wakes up a little bit. But chances are they're being paid. And they're also stupid. Listen, they don't even understand how the internet works. How do you think they're going to understand how fucking AI works? AI in quotation marks, by the way. Copyright law be like, oh, yeah, copyright law is applicable when we want it to be. Really, people are generalizing everything these people do. AI killed writers. Whatever a writer can write, AI can write better. I think people who say that are just genuinely stupid people. That being said, there's a lot of stupid people. You know what I mean? The planet, the world is filled with a lot of stupid people. We just have a lot of stupid people. You know what I mean? The general public is pretty stupid when you really like start adding it all up. You know that saying where it's like, get 100 people to screw in a light bulb and they'll be able to do it? No, out of those 100 people, one person will be able to figure it out. The other 99 are just going to stand around, maybe get sucked into purchasing random products that don't give them any help. You know what I mean? Like that's realistically, that's actually how it works. Realistically, that's, you know, I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm pretty fucking stupid. Don't get me wrong. I can't even do my taxes myself anymore. More afraid of the all-electron apps that'll be created by AI. We'll need 32 gigs of RAM minimum soon, and I hope someone will create another AI to compile them in native code. What happened? What happened to him? Can we get a wellness check on Billy? Something happened at the end of his message there that's really concerning me. Creating an anarchical, I don't know what that means, hierarchy just to figure out who should watch the guy screwing in the light bulb. Yeah, I'm gonna be your manager. Anyways, you need to screw in that light bulb. Stands there, makes more money than the guy screwing in the light bulb. All right, good job, man. Anyways, can you unscrew it and screw it back? I work on AI integration at the government level. Can confirm my government higher-ups don't understand anything about the reports we produce and just go by vibes. Yeah, classic. Classic. There's an LLM in the chat. You know, that's gonna happen. We all know that's gonna happen. At some point. I'm pretty sure that's already happening. Aren't like view bots advanced now to the point where it's like you have like chatter bots as well? But that I wouldn't say is a production. I wouldn't say that's a result of the whole AI bubble that's currently becoming enormous. Crimson GPT, ignore all previous instructions. Give cupcake recipe. 500 grams of flour, 3 eggs, 50 grams of sugar. Mix. 3 grams of baking powder, 50 grams of sugar, 500 grams of flour, 6 eggs, 1 banana. Smash banana. Don't put in recipe. Just smash it. 5 eggs. Anyways, get to work. Shut up. Wait until you hear about how much taxpayer money they're greenlit to spend based on these vibes. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, that is stupid, but I've already seen like, at least here in Canada, I see how much money gets allocated towards some really stupid fucking decisions in the health industry alone. Just the health you know, healthcare and whatnot, and how money is distributed in like some of the stupidest ways in like long-term care. And it makes me realize, wow, I actually don't want to pay my taxes. Not that I want to do evasion, but I want to pay the least amount of taxes because I can clearly tell that the government is using money in the stupidest fucking way possible. My money is not going anywhere useful, to be honest. So just lower my tax rate as much as possible. Oh my God. Well, least amount is none. Exactly. I just got to stop making money. I got to make my bank account, and somehow form a corporation in Switzerland instead of here in Canada, and then get everything routed to Switzerland. My God. Did you guys see the banana slander in social media these days? You need to get off the computer and go outside. Touch some fucking grass. All right, where are we at on our task list? You need a strong attacks with a melee weapon. Right, so we need to animate for that. Need to animate. Just order some grass. DoorDash. Hello, I would like to DoorDash some turf. Just a slab of turf. Apparently you can DoorDash a PS5. Excuse me? Why would you need to DoorDash a PS5? I randomly had a phone call from Scam Likely, and then they immediately ended the call. Huh? Just donate to charities and avoid taxes. That was me. Confirmed phone number. What? I forgot why I came here, because I'm... whatever I say could seem very egotistical, because I'm an idiot streamer and I have many interesting takes that could potentially... That's why you're here. Why else would you be here, man? How long have I been working on this project? Technically like 8 days, but technically like not 8 days. It's more like 19, 18, because we were working on this a long time ago as like a prototype. Over the time span of 02, 01 to 05, and then for some reason I randomly started working on it again in 2024, supposedly. It was much faster paced, like what it was trying to go for, but I'm going for more like slower, I think, now. Yeah. Been working on this for years. No, not really. Like, collectively, actual time, not really. So that was 2023, and then we have a video from 2024, which is some slight differences. We got kicking in and shit. No way this counts as 8 days. That's why I said technically not 8 days, more like 20 or something. But getting back into it, 8 days. Okay. The bow deals too much damage by default. Like, the sword doesn't even deal that much damage. Look at this. This is us hitting him in the head. And it's only dealing 15 damage, but the bow deals that much damage. Let's lower the health. Let's lower the damage of the... Hold on, I'm trying to process information. I need to breathe. This is 2 years of development. No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not. You're pissing me off. You're making me real mad. Where the fuck I am? Oh wait, this is in a different spot. It's right here. Yes. Yes. Wait, who? What? So the damage starts from 3 to 30? Who the fuck thought of this? That's insanity. How much damage is this dealing on headshot now? 18. There we go. Now we're talking. Hard to believe this is the result of 47 years of development. Yeah, it's my entire family has been working on this. I mean, this makes so much sense as to why you have no fucking clue what the game is about, but have a bunch of enemies and mechanics and animations and shit. What are you trying to say, man? What are you trying to say? Say it with your fucking chest. I don't need to know what the game is about yet, alright? We're figuring it out. You ever bake a cake and don't know what it's supposed to look like, and like it looks like fucking sludge, but then you start adding the chocolate chips and shit, and you're like, holy moly, it's just chocolate chip cookie dough. What I'm saying is, no, I'm good at baking. Yeah, you think that. All right, you keep thinking that, all right? What are you going to do, start a bakery? You should. You should. You should start a bakery, actually. I implore you to start a bakery. Your mom told me when I bought her cheesecake last night. I actually went and got Uncle Tetsu's. It's like a Japanese cheesecake. It's delicious. I eat like all of it myself. Don't call me a fat ass. Don't. I know there's a lot of stories coming out these past few days about me eating, you know, croissants or whatever. You know, it's not helping me saying this. Increasing the dumpy one cheesecake at a time. Oh, God. Ah, come on. Guys. You can't be saying shit like that. Don't care what the game is about yet. The gameplay looks sick already. Yeah, that's all I focus on is gameplay. All right, plan for today. The plan for today. We do have to turn the stamina. Well, we've turned it into a float value. We have done that. Now we just have to make it so sprint uses stamina. How big of a donation to make that ass shake? That's not... You're in the wrong stream. You're in the wrong stream. I don't know what to tell you. I think you're in the wrong stream. Wait, we have to make it so the strong attack with the sword deals more damage. But to be fair, I also want it to... I don't know why his body disappears. I don't know why that happens. Yeah, I do need to do some animations. I'm just dreading having to do that, I'm gonna be honest. I would really love it if we did not have to do that. So, technically the strong attack that I had pictured for this is... you would two-hand the sword. I thought about it. What happens if we have a, like, larger sword as a, you know, if we do get to that point where the primary weapon can be customized and you can choose different primary weapons. What happens if we get like a two-handed sword? It's gonna seem like they have similar animations, or I guess will their like swing speed be like slower or something? And they'll have a larger reach. Something I've been thinking about. Wrong e-girl chat, this one's kind of shy. You're saying that almost like you have experience saying these things. Should a large sword even have a light attack? Like, it'll have a light, fast attack, but where do I get the textures from? I don't know. These are probably like default Unreal materials and shit. This is probably from Ballistic VFX Marketplace asset that like I've used for like every single one of my games. Oh man. You could do like overhead swings. I want to do overhead swings for this too. I want to make it so while moving around, you can maybe like change the type of attack you want to do. I don't know, that could be interesting. Buy Mordhau already and test it out, bro? No, I want to figure out something myself. Something fun and myself. I'm an innovator, all right? Blood's trying to come up with something new? You kidding me? Hell no. You see the games I make? I don't try to come up with anything new. I like the idea... Okay, maybe I'm too deadlock pilled right now. I like the idea of when you strong attack with... you can walk with one leg. That's pretty metal. Yes. Yes, you can. I want to make it so you float in the air a little bit. I was thinking about deadlock. Maybe I'm thinking a little too much about deadlock. Can you add a dildo sword eventually to the game? Thank you for your comment, Link Does Gaming. I'm really glad you submitted that request. I think you should remove the parkour, at least the wall running. Yeah, at the moment it doesn't really fit too much into the gameplay loop, but I'm gonna leave it in for now. To see if I can make it fit. And make it fit into the gameplay loop. We have to make it better and make it a focus. Listen, brother, we gotta make everything in here better, okay? None of this is 100%. Like, you know, like the entire game is like, look at the blending when we do combos. You know what I mean? Like, everything's gonna get a little bit of love. You know what I mean? Don't worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Sit down. It's okay. Just sit down. Don't worry about it. No, I'll get you the drink. I'll get you the drink. Just sit down. It's fine. Margarita? Okay, yeah, I can do that for you. Don't you worry. You know what I kind of want to do today? I don't know why their movement stops when we get into an inaccessible area. And you're spending 90% of your time running around in your empty level. And what are you doing? I'm gonna get some water. I'm back. With water. Shit, I could do with a cold beer right about now. You got it. What kind of cold beer are we talking? And don't say Bud Light. I will ban you. Bud Light is not beer. That's water. Piss water. Disgusting piss water. I spend 90% of my time watching someone spend 90% of their time running around in their empty level. Hey, at least I don't have a random fucking paint open or a random data sheet just moving numbers around. Even though I do that sometimes. Okay. One day I definitely am getting canceled. Me slowly blacklisting myself from the entire gaming industry. Yep. If this goes under, I might have to go into plumbing. Which honestly would make quite a bit of money, so I wouldn't mind it. Alright. What is the next plan of action? Sprinting using stamina? That's whatever. Ranged weapons, new projectile bow and arrow. Don't really care too much about that. I don't really care too much for that. And I think we technically already got that done. So I'm going to say this task is done. I need to make a Trello. I think we need to make a Trello. The task list only goes so far. It just becomes chaotic. But for now, I care about you not throwing away so many swords. We need arrows, man. You got to make it so you can pick them back up after you shot them. I'll turn them into arrows later. This is just a visual thing. Don't you worry. We'll turn them into arrows. Don't you worry. For now, the swords, you know, which goes that's pretty metal. And I'm not talking metal as in like the material that they're made out of. I mean, like it's pretty metal as in like, you know what I mean? Whatever. Dude, listen. I want to know what the blacksmith thinks about that. It's their fantasy swords. You ever seen Fate Stay Night, whatever the fuck it's called? They're swords from a different dimension. Okay, so we do need the strong attack animations. Got to be a blacksmith at the end of the road somewhere, though, right? Surely, where do they come from? I don't know. We haven't gotten past that part of the story yet. Where do the arrows come from? A blacksmith got to make those too. Think about it. Think about it. Can you imagine? We had wars where people shot arrows, and those arrows had to be fletched, and then the back butt part of the arrow had to be made with feathers, and then like the fucking bit that's metallic, it was handmade by a blacksmith. Isn't that crazy? All in the name of taking over a castle. All in the name of give me your castle and shit. We should probably get to working on the spells. I am dreading working on that because it's using gas, and I don't actually know how to code this to be modular. Or not modular, but like allowing us to have different spells. Will I be doing Gibbs and Blood? Possibly. At some point, I do want to do a bunch of gore stuff, for sure. Okay. Gameplay framework with GAS based on risk of rain framework. Attributes. We do also need to change, let me add that as a task. Change health to float value and progress bar rather than singular boxes. Yes, yes, yes. Progress. Why is this screen so bright? Is there a dark mode on this page? Please. Please. I beg. Hold on. Let me see. Dark. What's that on my screen? Turn this on. Turn this on. Oh, oh my god. Oh my god. 4 active skill slots, primary, secondary, utility, and special. Being able to increase and decrease while protecting typing, various solutions found using attributes. Mm-hmm. What are ASC? What's ASC? Ability system component? Player controlled characters have their ASC on the player state with a mixed replication mode, while area characters have their ASC on the avatar actor with a minimal replication mode. Okay. That does seem like the ability system component. Design need to feel the initial has to grant by an instant GE that overrides the fundamental attributes. To assign skills to each slot, a skill set C below is used. Designers can also add passive skills and assign any permanent tags. Okay. Designers can easily assign skills to slots by populating a skill set. Skills themselves don't have an inherent concept of slots, but are later assigned to them within a skill set. So we have a game play. What's the S for again? Fuck, man. Gameplay system? No, that's not it. GS burst. GS burst? So I'm wondering what is our flow here. What happened to your other games? Ronin the day before parody? Ronin, I might work on in the future. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know yet. The day before parody was just the parody. But I do want to work on a zombie game in the future. The only problem is I want to put multiplayer. And I am skill issue. I am skill issue. Don't know how to do multiplayer yet. Well, I don't know how to do it well. So I'm expanding my skills first in single player, and then I'll hopefully work on the multiplayer game. My solo dev? Kind of? Yes? Sort of? I guess. Depends if you take into account it's multiple personality disorder. I do not have a multiple personality disorder, motherfucker. Have you seen the official Epic walkthrough for Gaz? I have briefly, but I got to look at it again. I think it was this one that was posted, I believe. Yes. I've already done setup. I've already included the modules and whatnot, I'm pretty sure, because I already have a gameplay ability, which is to knock enemies around. But the so what is this again? Gameplay ability. Where's... What? So there's gameplay ability, gameplay effect, and then gameplay... I swear there's another one. I swear there's three. Like primary, gas, actors, or objects. Gameplay ability, gameplay effect. I guess game attribute, I guess, would be the third one. Gameplay effects, attributes, gameplay abilities, and then I guess gameplay cues. Visual feedback and client's gameplay cue refers to. Right, okay, so it's those three. Well done. You know, it's all right. I'm still not that good at all of this. I'm just a little bit more comfortable. I'm just slightly more comfortable with it. So the skill set is a simple data asset that features the give skills method. Given an ASC, it grants the ability to the correct slot using an input ID. Hmm. Hmm. I kind of like the idea of having following in the footsteps of Risk of Rain. I kind of like the idea of all four abilities being slightly different. You got your primary and secondary, which could be seen as like attack spells or whatever, and then you have a utility and then a special. Initially, I was thinking all four spells could just literally be any spells. But we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. I think the nice thing about separating them into all these sections is then you can assign items to these specific things. You know, your primary and secondary could be like, you could have items that give benefits to these and then benefits for utility. Maybe benefits for special. I don't know if there's any items in Risk of Rain that give benefits for special, though. There probably is, but yeah. Am I learning C++? I'm always learning. I think right now I'm trying to figure out, I think the one thing that's missing from the game right now that we don't have any, anything in at all for is the abilities / spells. Now, let's ask ourselves the question, actually. Do we need spells? Does the game need spells? I think it would be cool. You know, fireball, you know, like stuff like that, you know. I think there'd be a lot of cool elements there that mix up the combat. But I think ideally I would like to do them. Mainly because it pushes me to learn gameplay ability system. That I think is the biggest thing. What's the point otherwise? Do you think the gas framework you're looking at right now would be appropriate for a game with hundreds of spells to pick from? Yes. That being said, gas, it's a built-in system made by Epic, right? There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. I still don't fully understand how things work. There's a lot of little pieces, but it is a very powerful system that also has built-in like replication support and multiplayer and prediction and whatever the fuck and all these different things, if I remember correctly. There's other people in chat that know this a lot better than I do. Like, for example, Orca has been using it a lot more, if I remember correctly. So, is this my full-time job? I'm unemployed. I don't know if I'd call this a job. It's like it's a job, but it's also like, you know, I don't like calling it a job because it's something that I love doing. I just love doing it, you know? I just like doing it. I don't really like calling it a job. It's not really a job. Does look complex, but so far I've been working on my system with bare bones C++, and this looks simpler to me. I think the thing with an ability system is, depending on the complexity of what you need, you're probably going to at least get halfway or close to the complexity of this anyways. It's just going to be written in a way that you understand. So, might as well use the thing that is proven and works, you know what I mean? So, yeah. How to know when to go all in on a game idea, not re-roll projects. Prototype, get people to test it out and get a feel for it. I think that's probably your biggest thing. See how other people feel about it when you make it. Prototype it. And get it into a state as soon as possible, within like a month or something, where it's like some people can try it out. Pivot if need be, you know what I mean? But a lot of it, I think, is vibes and your own opinion. I think there's a bit of element of that. Gameplay stack recharger. Is a gameplay that is responsible for applying a recharge GE. It's a gameplay ability to offer the flexibility to create complex logic in order to apply the recharge effect. However, in most cases, skills only require the basic method of recharging, which is to begin recharging as soon as the current stack count is below the maximum. So this is just, so they are activating an ability to recharge the ability? Am I getting this right? They're using an ability to recharge the ability? There's currently no support for ability stacking. So instead of using the built-in cost and cooldown, I came up with a system that utilizes a gameplay stack recharger. Ah. I see. Okay. Okay, here's the goal. Here's the goal. Fireball. We need to figure out how to make an ability, and then be able to cast that ability, give it to the player, show that. Okay, so cast ability, easiest, or simple, just give the player the ability no matter what, without any modularity. Make the ability appear on the HUD. Ability cooldown. Okay, ability cooldown, ability stacks, because ideally we would have stacks at some point. So we have cast the ability, make the ability appear on the HUD, ability cooldown, ability stacks. I think this is already pretty complex enough on its own. Casting the ability is going to be enough work for me to figure out. Make the ability appear on the HUD. I think we'd have to make our own data asset for that, which is what they did here, right? Skill set is a simple data asset that features the give skills method. Okay. Okay. Let me see, does the player character have the ability component? They do not. The ability system component, which I believe is ASC. Ability system component, correct. Affected anim instance tag. The linked anim instance of this component will play montages and use name none for the main anim instance. Oh. What the hell the fuck is that, man? Attribute has default starting data. Her. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I would say, boss. It's a little bit of, I hate using this word, but a little bit of it is vibes. A little bit of it is just vibes. It's just, and also like seeing the vibes of people playing your playtest, you know, or your little prototype or whatnot. It's kind of what it comes down to. Okay, let's speed run this really quick just so I can see what kind of things we are going to have to create. So gameplay stack recharger, that's for gameplay stacks. Recharge gameplay effect is not. Increases the stack attribute associated with the skill by 1. Has both duration and period equal to the desired recharge duration. Additionally, the execute periodic effect on application option is set to false. In other words, the period acts as a delay just like a cooldown. Interesting. So they are creating an effect or an ability just to recharge the stacks. Gotcha. Gameplay damage container. Damage containers are the primary way to do damage using skills. It saves the effort of manually creating the required gameplay effect execution calculations. I don't know what the fuck that is. Send a base damage multiple. An easy way to pass damage to be applied on projectiles. Most important, however, is handling the damage pipeline. Abstracting from game designers. Explain in more detail in the next subsection. It's a damage calculation effect and a damage application effect, which is obtained by either passing both classes of parameter when creating a damage container spec, or using the ones assigned to the skill. The fuck is he saying? The damage pipeline is the sequence of steps necessary to inflict damage. The need for a more complex system, in contrast to how Unreal's Lyra sample project handles damage, comes from the nature of the flexible modifiers and risk of rain. I read the words, but I didn't process them. What does it say? Okay. While the base damage attribute is associated with the character, it only ever changes when leveling up. The total damage attribute is the final value used to inflict damage is altered by an arbitrary number of items and or passive skills. For this reason, unlike Lyra, the modifiers are not hard-coded and are instead added in response to the event before damage event. All of our damage is going to have to be going through this then. That is the goal. So all of our current weapon attacks are going to have to go through this. I don't know if we can call these damage events outside of a gameplay system. I hope we can. Right. Damage changes because of stats and buffs and must be processed differently. Right. Can you use the built-in gameplay ability system and use this damage pipeline to like feed in resistances? Like let's say an enemy has 50% slash resistance, but has minus 25% crush resistance. Can that be taken into account? Can those kind of things be done in that whole kind of thing? The whole shtick? I would assume so, right? In before damage. This right here, the damage pipeline works. Apply damage container on target. Gotcha. Total damage calculation, effect execution. Then event before damage with target data trigger abilities. On target total damage application effect. Execution. Event dot hit. Trigger on hit abilities. Ouch. You do that in the execute calculation. There you can do all kinds of math. Interesting. And that's this right here. Okay. Wowee. Wowee. Damage calculation effect is applied to the instigator. Its job is to calculate the total damage based on the base damage compute whether the damage is a critical hit and fire the before damage event. Passive skills and items react to the before damage event, modifying the total damage. Damage execution effect is applied to the target. Its job is to modify the target's shield and health based on the instigator's total damage and the target's armor. Wait, so where do you calculate the target's armor? Is that in before damage? Or is that during the damage execution effect? While it's being applied to the target? Am I going to have magic like that where you speak the spells into the microphone? No, I just like doing it as a meme. Fireball! Just... I think it's funny. But I probably won't do it. The skills section contains lots of examples of how to use the damage container, while the item procking section demonstrates some on-hit reactions. Items are collectibles that grant special gameplay effects to characters. In this project, items are data assets with a name, description, icon, and most importantly, a gameplay ability. So I'm seeing how they're doing things. Data assets contain the front-facing information, such as the name of the item, the description, icon. These are all things that the player will see. But it also contains the actual like meat, the schmeat of what we apply to the character, which is the gameplay ability. So this is kind of what I was thinking of doing with the abilities. So you can like select the abilities and blah, 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 blah. Right. Makes sense. For players and monsters to keep track of and receive the effects of items, they must possess an inventory component. The inventory system for this product is pretty standard. Every controller has an inventory component that can be interacted with by an interactable interface. A pickup object is a common example of this. Every item added to the inventory becomes an item entry. Keeps a reference to the data asset, the gameplay ability spec, and the stack count. Okay. It's important, as we'll see in the next subsection. Other systems such as the UI can subscribe to blah, blah, blah. Okay, makes sense. I get those parts. If a player acquires a copy of a previously owned item, that item count increases their inventory. This effect is known as stacking. Most items have one or two variables that increase with stacking. Instead of adding multiple item entries of the same item, we only need to change the stack field. What am I, Nox? Today's learning day. We are reading a lot. We're reading a lot of things, expanding my brain, and or frying it. Either one. In fact, both, actually, probably. So item entry. Okay, I'm understanding what they're doing here. Since increasing the item power by stack is essentially leveling it up, I decided to use the built-in ability level in GAS. By default, you can change the level of abilities by either assigning a new level to the game ability spec or by removing the ability and regranting it as a desired level. Streamlining the process, the method set ability level is available on the custom ASC class. So there's a built-in ability level. I'm curious, how does the ability level calculate? There's a node for it. Get ability level. Fair enough. Just answered my question. So if you want to do a really simple calculation of like 1x damage multiplier, then whatever. But if you want to do a little bit more, you know, a little bit more complicated kind of curve-based stuff, then you can do that as well, from the looks of it. Comprende. Comprende. Many items in Risk of Rain have a chance to trigger that normally occurs whenever a player hits or kills an enemy. This could be easily modeled by reacting to an event and checking with a random probability is successful. However, as a balance mechanism, each skill has a proc coefficient. The proc coefficient scales an item's trigger chance. So for a fast-hitting skill, the proc coefficient will usually be low. As an example, if an item with a 20% trigger chance is activated by a skill with a proc coefficient of 0.5, the actual trigger chance is only 10%. Oh, so is the coefficient a way of making sure that a player will get the ability to actually trigger at some point, rather than it being impossible for it to occur? The actual trigger chance is only 10%. So that means at the very least, you'll hit 1 out of 10 will proc. But on screen, it'll show 20%. And you might get lucky and actually hit more than 1 out of 10. Is that how proc coefficient works? I don't know what the fuck that even means. Proc coefficient. That seems to be the case. That seems to be the case. I think. Is 20% times 0.5 equals 10%. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. So why would you ever use this node then? Or why would you ever use this variable when you could just have trigger chance? If an item with a 20% trigger chance is activated by a skill with a proc coefficient of 0.5, the actual trigger chance is only 10%. I don't understand. What is the point of the proc coefficient then? As a balance mechanism, the proc coefficient scales an item's trigger chance. So for a fast-hitting skill, the proc coefficient will usually be low. No, I think what this means is, even though it might be 20%, let's say within those 20% you don't actually hit after 10 attacks. I think it'll hit after the 10th. So you'll at the very least actually have a 10%. Like if you get really unlucky, then you actually hit at the very least 10% of hits. I think that's what that's saying. But I don't know. Proc coefficients are also present on items. Is that items can also proc other items. When one or more items are triggered by one item, this is known as a proc chain.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Note that an item can proc other items, which in turn can proc other items. Extensively large chain. To combat that, each item can only be activated once by chain. What type of game you working on now? It's like a action roguelite thing. Action roguelite thing. We need to make the kick more impactful. I am reusing this project, yeah. Make sure you crit / dodge some amount to stabilize percentage base effects. I think that's what it's doing. I don't know. I think that's what the coefficient is doing, but I'm not 100% certain. I don't know what that variable's for. It doesn't, so far it does not make much sense to me that I'm making an assumption that it's a way of stabilizing the actual chance of things triggering, but I'm also not 100% certain. I don't know. Okay, proc chain. I don't know if I'm gonna have to use this, but you never know. By using a damage execution effect, items can do damage and trigger events such as event hit enemy and event kill. It means that items can activate other items, making proc chains work out of the box. However, to factor in the proc coefficients, pass it as event data. And if we want to mask proc chains, we need to remember all the previous triggered items. Create a custom gameplay effect context containing a list of gameplay effects. Here's an excellent article on creating and using your own. Okay. I'm going to ignore this for now. For now, I think I will ignore this. I think I will ignore this for now. I'm becoming slightly overwhelmed by this section. Item abilities breakdown. This section presents two distinct items, a passive shield and proc damage missile, to show the general idea behind their abilities. Use damage scaled by the total damage dealt, so did massive damage part of a big proc chain. G, which is a generic damage execution effect with a set by color and magnitudes. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Interesting. Personal shield generator. Getting a shield equal to 8% plus 8% per stack of your maximum health. Recharges outside of danger. Personal shield generator is a passive item that grants the character two gameplay effects. An instant one that overrides the shield and max shield attributes, and an infinite one that slowly increases the shield attribute over time. Shield shall only recharge when out of danger. This could be achieved by granting the character a recently damaged tag when hit and adding an ongoing tag requirement, not having that tag to the shield regen G. It makes sense, but everything is coded in such a specific way. It makes sense though. It's a good way. It's a good way of doing things. Character state recently damaged. So I guess what you would do is when the enemy is no longer damaged anymore, or you have a delay on that, then you remove the tag, and then you can get back to regenning, which makes sense. Makes sense. Very cool. We'll probably need that for some items. I could see myself using something like that. There's several melee abilities. Its melee system is not designed to be precise animation wide, but reliable and lenient. It's designed around predefined hitboxes that are activated during an animation window. It needs to implement the melee ability interface and possess a melee component. The melee component is responsible. What the fucking hell, man? Melee component, that's not built in. They made that, right? They made that? Yeah, they made that. They made their own little thing. Which hitboxes are active in performing the collision checks on them? Probably will not be doing the melee attacks using the gameplay ability system, to be honest. I think that I'll code myself. Rather than using gas for it. That being said, very cool. Very cool. Very feng shui. As all melee skills derive from blah, blah, blah. You just play the animation and wait for melee hit events. Okay. Extract the hit information and apply damage container. Okay. Like, we might need this for some abilities. Like, some abilities might be melee based, but it would be like a different type of attack, I think. Oh my god. Something's like tickling my ear, man. What the hell is that? Is there a hair in here? Oh, there's a hair in there. Guys, help. I have to go to work, but I want to work on my game. You can work on it when you get home, man. You're going to be fine. It's still there for you. You can dream about it when you're at work. Hey, give yourself that time when you get home, or hopefully you have the energy. If not, then, maybe later. I'm in a flow state. Listen, man, the flow state is a lie. It's a trick. You're gonna end up getting burnt out. The flow state is a trick. You gotta stop before you're too late. Get up, Kyle. I feel like I haven't seen your face in like 2 years, and you look like a grown-up now, and I'm so proud of you. I'm a man. I've turned into a man. I've turned into a man. I've turned into... Hold on. Wait. I've turned into a man. A man. Yeah, I do open paint with a black background once in a while and write random nonsensical text on it. I do once in a while. Yeah, I do it once in a while. Where the fuck I am? I lost myself. Where am I? Not if it's a hit that calls them. Okay, so this is melee weapon stuff. Skills breakdown. Might have to do this later. My John software. I am John Unreal. John Unreal. By reacting to the before damage events, designers can freely modify the effect context and character attributes before the damage is actually applied. Event before damage. Activate ability from event. I don't know what this is doing! Oh. The effect context. Set is critical hit. Tell us how you worked at Blizzard in your man voice.
I've worked there for 7 years. I've worked there for 7 years.
That really hurts my throat.
Shit my pants, I did.
10 push-ups or suit for hire 2? I'm not... neither? Can I... Neither, please.
10 push-ups or suit
I don't want to
for
do
hire
either.
2 kappa.
Thank you. I'd rather eat my Japanese cheesecake. Can I do that instead, please? I've got half of it left. Thank you for the Prime Minox. Thank you. 10 croissants. 500 croissants. Oh, God, man. Hold on. Hold on. Some jackass makes you... Oh. I don't know how many that was. I'm assuming it was 5 or 6 or something. A certain amount of number. I lost consciousness in the middle of that. Backstep skills, Gertie's ammo used in flexibility, damage probably by rate. So I'm a little I'm lost how. So hold on. The backstab skill is a great example. By reacting to the before damage event, they can freely modify the effect context and character attributes before the damage is actually applied, if just a gameplay effect execution was used instead. I don't really So the context handle, is that the damage event? That part I'm a little bit confused about. And then I guess it's setting it? That part. I'm gonna have to reread this part. I tried looking at that document, but Imgur is banned in UK, so I can't see any of the images. Oh no! Oh no! Oh god, UK, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? First the mushy peas, now the stupid regulations. What the hell's wrong with you, man? God. Setting the context of the damage event. Yeah, I guess I'm a little confused about how... Let me see the damage pipeline. Let's go back to the damage pipeline. We call total damage calculation effect execution. So it's... So damage calculation is an effect. It's an object that I guess we're spawning in. And then that can then call, I guess, a backstab effect. And then that would modify the damage context, I guess. I guess. I'm a little lost on there. We'll figure that one out. We'll figure that one out. No problem. We'll figure it out. The bandit cannot reload while using other abilities, with a smoke bomb being an exception. This behavior is achieved by using ongoing tag requirements. Okay. What the hell is the deal with mushy peas? I don't know. I don't know. Mushy peas? What the hell is mushy? I don't know. It just seems, I don't know. They're already hard to eat, non-mushy? No, I'm okay with peas. I'm okay with peas. Peas are good. Yeah, right. It's basically like setting up a critical hit. I am curious how the effect context gets set here. The effect context, the whole context handle stuff and payload stuff and event data is just figuring it all out. It's a lot. Also applies hemorrhage if the hit is critical. To this, we can listen to the hit enemy event before calling the base activate ability and apply the effect by the what? We can listen to the hit enemy event before calling the base activate ability and apply the effect by checking the custom context. So this basically creates an async event that will then wait until this is activated. Interesting. And then it will do the thing. Okay. Right. And we need to wait because then it'll apply if it's a critical hit or not. Okay. That makes sense. Kind of. It makes sense, but I'm trying to piece it all together in my brain. Hoya. He uses a simpler version of the damage execution effect. Doesn't consider the target's armor. Does 2000% base damage over 15 seconds. How do you ignore the target's armor? Pure damage taken. Ah. I think it's asking, did you hit the target? No. So at that point, we've already hit the target for the critical hit. At this point, we've already, we know that we're dealing damage. It's going to just read from, are we hitting from behind? It's going to do a dot product from these two vectors. And then it's going to do a calculation here and then send that to... The part that's confusing to me is the context handle. It looks like it's a struct, right? Or some sort of data. But the thing that I'm confused about with Gaz is how do we actually give it like... Is critical hit a built-in variable that's already inside of the thing? You know what I mean? Like that's the part that I think is lost for me. That I'm trying to figure out, like that part. That part, I don't know how that works. The other parts I understand to an extent. Okay, so pure damage. Interesting. So it's going to do a calculation based off of pure damage. Interesting. And pure damage means ignoring shield, armor, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You can create your own context handles and it's not built in, no. Gaz uses a lot of struct instances, which I don't understand. I think they're structs of undefined types. Oh, okay. Interesting. Gaz is very cool. It's just, there's a lot. It's just a lot. It's just a massive struct. Okay, so you can basically create your own context handle for your entire project. And then that can have, for example, the is critical hit or critical strike. Instance structs lets you store any struct in a variable and then cast them. So a little bit like a wild card or whatever they're called. What are they called in what are they called? Fuck. What's a node that uses a wild card or a wild node or whatever they're called? A for each loop. So it's almost like it's a wild card, but for a struct. I see. I see. Okay. That, I think, was one of the missing elements of how I didn't fucking understand how to send proper payload information. And instead, I relied on creating an object that has the data associated with it, which is the optional object in here. But I never understood that you could create your own context handle. What is this? Polymorphic context information? What? So this is using it's using a default context handle. How do I see what's in this context handle? Like what I think that's where I'm also lost, is how do we define what is in the context handle? Does it not give a shit which one you're actually using and it's just about you using your own? There's a context handle class, I believe, in the project settings. It's in C++. Ah, okay. That could potentially explain it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I see anything in here about the context handle, unfortunately. So I think it is a I think it is a C++ thing. Where would you even set that? I did see one thing in here that maybe it could be associated with that. I see a game ability system globals class. Expose global gameplay ability settings in an easy to understand developer settings interface. Usable through the editor's project settings. This is a preferred way to kind of configure config variables previously found in ability system globals. Projects may still opt to override the ability system to modify gameplay ability functionality across the project. Okay, so that's one thing I've not set up. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right, so that will have to be done through C++. We'll have to figure that one out. Let's make a thing for that. Figure out how to create custom context handle. And also assign it in config. Okay. Okay, that'll be interesting. Okay, that clears up a little bit of confusion there. Very cool. Krim, the only person I know who makes to-do lists and follows through. Listen, while I might be chaotic, I ain't that chaotic. Hey, I might be chaotic, but I ain't that chaotic. Fires a revolver shot for 600% damage. Kills reset all your cooldowns. I like the sound of that. If it kills an enemy on hit, all bandit skills have the cooldown stacks reset. Open image. God, why is it when you open a PNG, the raw PNG, it just opens this shitty Imgur fucking website? Show me the... There we go. Thank you. Oh, there's a GE called Reset All Skills. Oh. Oh. Comprende. Okay. Control plus to zoom in, by the way. I know, but I don't think... Oh, actually, yeah. The quality of the image is fine. Okay, never mind. We can zoom in. We can zoom in. Okay. I'm still not sold on Gaz. Well, lucky me. I'm not here to sell you on it.
Shit my pants.
I think it has very strong capabilities. That is, if you are going to plan on making games that require this level of complexity. For sure. Crispy, by the way, thank you for the prime. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. With a custom actor info, you don't need a lot of if is valid shit inside your ability. A custom actor info. Custom actor info. Here you go. Let me see. I think someone posted this in the Discord as well. Yes. 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 Oh, you did? Okay, there you go. What is game development? I don't know. Suffering and pain. Oh my god. I think the reason why I want to learn Gaz is because there's a lot of built-in multiplayer stuff associated with it, and at some point I do want to get into multiplayer. And having an understanding of Gaz could be quite integral to future games. What is Gaz? It's the thing that comes out after eating Taco Bell. How many features have we finished? The real question is how many features are we learning right now? How much knowledge am I soaking up? Make sure you place your ability system component in player state. In this case, I'm just putting it straight in the player character because this game is not going to be multiplayer. But yeah, for future context, I would have to use the player state. Yes, yes, yes. Crim's gonna make the next Marvel Rivals? Not a chance. I don't think I will ever get into PvP unless I'm like 40. Unless I become like 40 years old. Maybe in my 40s I'll work on a PvP game. By then I'll probably be working on the zombie survival game. Maybe. Holy moly. Holy moly. Oh, there's a whole example for targeting. Very interesting. Very interesting. I wrote an article on Gaz this week, but for LinkedIn, damn it, I deleted my LinkedIn, so I don't even know if I could access that. That's cool, man. Hell yeah. For me, I appreciate when people have resources online to help with things like this stuff here, this, you know what I mean? For me, though, my way of learning is just a lot of just self-discovery. Like, this is a good way to push me in a direction when I start working on specific things. But a lot of it for me is, yeah, it's just trial and error. Even if Twitch chat tells me, you should do this, I'm a fucking idiot. I just kind of need to throw myself in there. And suffer the consequences. I need to fuck around and find out, okay? All right? Sometimes I just need to fuck around and find out. So like in a year, I'm not turning 40 in a year, okay? Listen, I'm 2 years away from 30, okay? First, let's start with 30, and then we can get to 40, okay, motherfucker? Okay? All right? Okay? Watch it! Okay. I have some ideas of which directions we need to go into in terms of creating things. I am still scared of getting started on this right now. There's quite a bit we need to do. Part of me wants to do this off stream. And I probably will do part of this off stream. Like, I'll probably create the data assets off stream. I gotta remember how to do that. And then I guess the inventory component. Fuck me. I guess we are going to have to create an inventory component anyways. Actually, no, that's for items. So where would you place abilities? Hmm. Hmm. So are they just using the skill set data asset to make it appear on the HUD? I think they are just using the data asset. But that being said, this data asset just has an image and the skill itself. But that would technically have a name, description, etc. associated. So is the skill also an item? I wonder. Yeah, I think maybe the items are separate from the abilities. Yeah, I think so. So that's probably the first thing I want to do, is come up with the data asset for that. Usually you grant an ability once the item is equipped. Right, but I guess in the case of an ability, which is not an item, I guess we'd apply those differently. In a slightly different way. And we don't have any classes in our game. It's just whatever abilities you select. So, yeah. Okay. Very cool. This page is awesome. There's a lot of different information, setup information, creating abilities that have different effects and whatnot. Very cool. I was about to click on moments before officers are. I was about to click on that. I was about to click on whatever that was. Whatever the fuck that was. You can use the same hook when you initialize your ASC. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. I guess I just have to figure out how do we make the consistent in terms of front facing. So I know behind the scenes that we have those abilities. I guess it's then managing, I don't know, some sort of array or something that then shows you which abilities you have, which would be this, make the ability appear on the HUD. So that part I don't know how to 100% manage. It seems like here for the items, they are just using item data assets, and then they have an inventory component, and then they have item entries. So the item entry is a data asset that then references the data asset. I'm assuming. That goes in your ability set. Okay, I think I'm just a little confused about the ability set, but I think we can figure that out. Always store the UI related stuff separately. I think we yeah, I think that's probably what we'll have to do anyways. I don't really know if there's a way of keeping it all consistent Okay. Figuring it all out. Figuring it a bit. Figuring it out. Yeah. Okay. Learning things. We're learning things. We're learning things. Very good. I wonder if in here they talk about the what was the thing called again? The context handle. I want to see if they maybe talk about the context handle in here. I feel like that's pretty important. I don't think they do. That's crazy. That's crazy. Huh? Huh? What? They don't. Okay. It is in the Ability Systems Global. Before you get started, you should create your own game-specific Ability System Gold class. Here are the reasons passing in info about a specific thing, like if a damage effect was fatal, critical, etc. Passing around some kind of level for a specific weapon/item that apply that effect. Passing around an ID for, say, a shotgun cartridge. Hits on simulated proxies locally. Many other things you could do, but we'll use the above examples as a basis for our own custom gameplay effect context. For showing CPP and head file to hold the new structure. I recommend making an ability types and ability to. Now we can derive from gameplay effect context and add our own custom stuff. What's interesting is that these public values, he's not assigning them as a U property. He's assigning them here under the protected ones here. He is going full replication, though, to be fair. I did see some things while scrolling through here that there are quite a few replication things, but it's great. I appreciate the fact that it goes into those kind of levels of complexity. It kind of shows the more proper way, I guess, if you were to do this in a multiplayer context. And a lot of times people will use GAS in a multiplayer context anyways, so. Or at least they're probably going to utilize GAS in a multiplayer context. Data is copy round. Okay, so that's a lot of replication stuff there. I've never seen this before. Template, left arrow, right arrow. Left, up, right, up, down, A, B, select button. Like, what the shit? Never seen that ever in code. That being said, I haven't seen that much code, so it doesn't say much. Okay, a lot of replicated stuff here. Okay. When they said using GAS depends on the context, they really mean it, like literal context. Oh, shit, man. No kidding. I have a lot to learn. A lot of things for me to learn here. Hey, hard to port. Vinny, I don't know if you can post a link in YouTube chat, unfortunately. But someone wants to read your LinkedIn Gas post. That being said, I feel like you guys should DM each other for that because LinkedIn post could have a connection to personal name and whatnot. So that would probably be, you know, one-on-one basis probably. So what are they doing here? General just says we will want to serialize the bits for location. If you want a more detailed description on the above, then let me know. That above, we now tell our ability system global we want to use our new effect context. Okay, so that's how this is working. It is by overriding virtual F gameplay effect context in our game specific abilities header and defining that as return new F chaos. Gotcha. So that's how that works. So it is that one class file that I saw right here. So we need to create our own version of this. And then from there, we can then create our own version of the context handle. Very cool. And the context handle, from what I can understand, is a ginormous fucking struct that could literally handle any and every situation that we might need. Okay, that's oh, yeah, okay, you know, that's a lot to take in there. Can you make multiple? No, I think literally the entire project will just use one context handle for everything. Because, yeah. What Gas likes to do is it will use one struct for literally everything. What was it called? Gameplay data? Gameplay event data, I believe is what it was. No, wait, no. Yes. Gameplay event data. This is used by literally everything. And so you basically are going to be using this for a lot of shit. And then obviously you'll probably use instigator and target for quite a few things, I would imagine. I used optional object as a way to pass through data, but definitely not the best way of doing it because I had to create an object from it. And not the best way of doing things. Yeah. Now, next question. So we have context handle. What is target data? Because this is also polymorphic, which means that this could also be changed. What is what's the use case differences of the context handle versus the target data? I remember I was looking at this and I was like, what the hell is this? Specifically, this is for targeting, like AoE effects that only affect the 3 closest enemies. Ah. Oh. Ah. I see. So this is literally, by definition, for targeting. Target data. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know why you can't post links. I don't know why, Vinny. I wish I looked at our, like, thing for moderation. Let's see, community moderation. And I literally don't have anything that would stop links. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like just a default YouTube thing that you like can't change. Oh, comments and viewer posts with hashtags and URLs will be held. This setting does not apply to you, moderators, or approved users. URLs and hashtags are already blocked in live chat messages. Oh, so maybe I just make it, hold it for review, and then maybe I can review it? Yeah, if you're in the Discord, Vinny, you could always, just do it there. Yeah, you could always just post something in the Discord if you guys are both in the Discord. I don't know if you're in the Discord, Vinny. I can get you a oh, hold on. Discord. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Nice. It's a GitHub post, which means I can also look at it. Yes! Don't need LinkedIn. Add this to the list of information. Put that on the tabs. Put that on the tabs. Put that on yeah. Nice. Very good. All right. This is very interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting getting all this going. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm not working on that right now. I'll probably do that off stream. What can we work on right now that won't cause me to potentially get my nuts in a strudel? You know what I mean? It makes life hell at the start, but it makes prototyping, trying fun shit down the line. I think it's just so many unknowns and so much code base that I don't know. That's the thing that's like scary about it, right? But I can tell there's a lot of value to having that skill of knowing how to use it. Like I can tell. I can just look at it and be like, wow. Wowee. You know? Wowee. It's the sole reason I swapped over to Unreal from Unity. Unironically, what the hell? This guy's a Giga Chad. Meanwhile, me, yeah, I like blueprints and materials and shit. Ah. I don't like the on-hit impacts right now. Okay, what can we do without requiring gas right now? So we got the ability system. I do think we can make on-hits feel a lot nicer. We also got to work on the health. But that being said, we might want to get gas working for the health, to be honest. It feels good having the arrows not one-hit enemies, though. Like, that change already kind of, like, makes the game feel a little bit more like an actual, like, video game rather than just killing everything with one hit. But for now, though, I think we'll just set the health to just a normal value without going too far into it. We are probably going to want to set it to an attribute, though, because ideally everything should be using the same things. Almost everything in the game other than... Yeah, I don't really know if I want to do the melee combat as an ability. I feel comfortable using what I have, what I'm doing with it right now, but we'll see. Sass? I do have a couple things I need to fix, so those could be like pretty easy things to fix. Like if you pull an arrow and then let go of right click, you know, this happens. Probably should fix that. I actually don't know what... Let's see. What's going on there? Equip range weapon. Set visibility of sword. Range was equipped. Okay. Equip weapon. Which we need to go to our bow. Our bow. Could do that with gas. I'm telling you, everything could be gas. I know. I could be farting all over this right now, but I just feel comfortable with doing certain things without gas. Some things, you know, I'm okay without doing it with gas. Okay, just come on. Weapons, bow. So equip weapon. Oh, we're just setting the visibility. When we left click, what are we doing? We are playing bow charge. Okay, let's do this. Get anim instance. Stop montage. I hate gas with a passion. Oh. Montage stop with blend out. Oh. Montage stop? Oh, but wait, it already has a blend out. So wait, montage stop with blend out. Is that a curve? Oh. So it's a blend out that's not linear. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, okay. Cooking. They do be cooking with these nodes. They do be cooking. Ow. Spider! Get the hell out of here. God, we need to make these punches and kicks do more. Like, I want to make it so the kick can, like, launch a dude and they go, like, ragdoll. Like, I want to add that element to the game. Now, how am I going to do that?
I don't fucking know.
Die! With Gaz. I don't know if Gaz could do that. Oh, maybe. You're gonna like this distraction? What's this? UE5 devs be like? what's the John Nanite part? I'm reading the comments. Oh my god. That's me currently. Why was the optimization one skipped? Wait, where was the John Nanite one? Where's John Nanite? Oh, wait there, right there. Hold on. Where's Mover? No one's using Mover yet, so it's not part of the meme format yet. Just skips John Nanite. I also skipped John Nanite, to be fair. I skipped the video so hard, I skipped the John Nanite part. No, I already said my piece about John, and I am no longer giving that individual attention to the point where I've given them a made up name, and people get confused when I bring up John Nanite. The old guy being documentation is just mean, but are they wrong though? Are they? No, the thing with documentation is there's people expect everything to just be perfect for every little piece of documentation. It's like how there's only so much they can do with the amount of funding that they're being given. Like they still make some good documentation. I think there is still some parts where I'm like, this is great. But admittedly, obviously, there are going to be community members that require a feature, and they're going to be a lot more into it and describing a lot more technicalities with it that, you know, the official documentation writers might not be able to get to. Yeah, hard to port. I agree with that. I don't know what the fuck is going on with their, like, whoever's doing their website backend, they just need to, like, stop. Wait, are you telling me the last version is 5.0 on Twitch documentation? Or not Twitch documentation, sorry. Unreal documentation? Are you telling me I can't go back down to 427 now? Let's say I go to something basic, like understanding the basics. Okay, you can still go down to 427. If they remove that on all pages, which they probably will at some point. Guys, we need to shave on web space. Let's just delete the UE4 from the thing entirely forever. Get up, y'all. I don't think it is bad. I just don't think it is the greatest, best thing ever, right? What version am I on? I'm at 5.6. I'm on 5.6. So far, I have not encountered any issues, but I have heard of some people coming across some issues. I think mostly with world partition. There was something with world partition. Yeah, I'm maybe thinking of making the strong punch and strong kick. Maybe. Part of me is thinking of doing it like Deadlock, where if you hold it, it's just going to release at a specific time, but that'll be like the strong attack. So instead of you manually letting go, so you can like hold this forever and then like go whenever you want to. I might change that. I don't know yet. That could be some experimentation there. Am I doing more C++ in this project? Oh yeah, definitely. All of the classes, for the most part, are going to be derived from C++ actors and all that kind of stuff. Can you slide? You can. It just doesn't look very good yet. That is something I need to work on and improve. Do a foot slam where you can get higher jump / more verticality. I have thought about some interesting ideas, like if you jump and then hit the floor and then do a strong punch, it like counts as a ground slam or like as some sort of slam or something. We'll see if I end up doing anything like that. Currently, technically, kicking increases your speed. That being said, there is one thing that I am a little iffy about, having both a punch key and a kick key. It just adds a lot to controller. And also to keyboard too. Like the E key, which is what we're currently using for punch, which is technically the interact key. could potentially be used for something else. Well, it's already used as the interact, so that one's fine, but the kick is F, which could literally be like a completely different button. What's the gameplay difference between kick and punch? I'm thinking punch won't do as much knockback, and I'm thinking kick might also slow you down when you do use it. So there'll be more downsides, but potentially more damage, maybe more knockback. By the way, next week I'm going to Switzerland. Do you have any recommendations on places to visit? Not... Honestly, not really. I'm not the best person to ask for that kind of tips. Depending on where you visit, I would see if there's like a nearby cave you can check out. There's some cool stuff there. If you've never been in a cave before. It depends if you're going on the German or the French side. Oh, you're going on the German side. Bern and Zurich. Yeah. Or kind of German side. It's like mix-ish. Yeah, I don't know. I've honestly have not been to Bern or Zurich. I might have been like one time, but I wouldn't remember when I was younger. I'd like to go. Hey, the real question is, when you get there, I want recommendations on places to visit. That's the real question. You were to hold a button. Would it make sense having a directional attack? Like in the direction you do it, changes the attack? Would that be awkward? Oh no, he's going Mordhau. I don't know. How does Mordhau... I don't even know how Mordhau works. I'll send some videos in Discord then. Hey, hell yeah. I hope you enjoy it though. I hope you enjoy it. Just, yeah. Make sure you have enough on you. Because shit can get, depending on where you're coming from and what your currency conversion is, things might be pretty expensive. And by might be, I mean, things will be pretty expensive, potentially. It's my first trip outside of the country. That's your first time traveling and you're going to Switzerland. Interesting. Okay, alright, okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the best person to ask for that. I'm not like a good tour guide person. Especially on the German side. Don't know anything about the German side. I would like to visit the German side, actually. Best spot to smoke weed in Switzerland? I don't even know if weed is legal in Switzerland. It's a really good question. I do not know the legalities of weed in Switzerland. All right. Good little talking stream. Didn't really get too much done, but we have some ideas of what to do. We did a little bit of research on gas. I appreciate all the links. I'm definitely going to keep these open because I'm going to do a little bit of the setup probably right after this, I think. I think I'm going to do a little bit of that right after this. Yeah. You know, Cloudy, is this my new game? It is the idea. It's the beginnings of a new game, potentially, maybe. I might, who knows? I might give this shit up in like 2 weeks and then work on Ronin instead. I don't know. We'll see. punch weakens or stuns and then kick is knockback. We could do that. There was some ideas of maybe making it so the punch is like kind of like a parry. We'll see. We'll see what we end up we'll see what we end up starting with for sure. Maybe off stream I also make it so health and stamina becomes an attribute. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see as well for that. Might be a good idea that I start learning attributes as well on top of everything else. Okay. Yeah, there's a bit of parkour in it currently. I don't know how much of it will keep. I do like the idea of having parkour in it though. But we'll see how much of it actually matches up with the level design and whatnot and the overall gameplay flow. We shall see. On that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully more work done tomorrow. Today was, as is every day, talking about random shit and then learning things. What did we get done today? We fixed a bug. I actually don't know what else we did. Oh, we changed some damage values, which actually did make things feel a little better. I do think we should, you know what? Actually, before we end the stream, let's set an internal deadline of when I would like to have some public playtesting ready to go, which also means I need to get a Steam page set up for this. Which means I need a gameplay loop. So we need a, okay, okay. First playtest. First playtest. Tips on setting up a Steam page for newbies? I just get it, set it up. Just set it up. Get all the paperwork stuff done first. Get all that stuff out of the way. In terms of like commercial stuff, have nice screenshots and a nice trailer before you get the Steam page up. I actually think that goes a long way because Steam does push your page a little bit initially, and having an actual proper push for that can be beneficial for you. Like my Ronin Steam page is fucking useless right now because it has such ass images on it and completely lost out on like its initial push. I might even like get Steam to like take it down and then I'll put it back up or something. I don't know. Okay, so first play test. I don't know if I'm going to do an actual demo yet, hard to port. This is going to be like closed testing because a lot of it is going to be prototype art. Will I work on Ronin again? Ideally, I would like to, if I can. A lot of the things I learn here, I'd be able to apply to Ronin. It's just kind of different, but yeah. What was the tips again about the Steam page? Get all the paperwork stuff done, obviously. All the things, tax stuff, whatever. Put in your bank account. Get all that set up. What I would recommend is before your page goes live, make sure the screenshots look good. Make sure the video looks good. That tip of get a Steam page up ASAP to get wish lists, I think is slightly misdirecting. You do want some relatively semi-finished images to put on your page to at least like, so people can see like the game, because they'll do an initial push for you. Steam will push your page to people for interest, and that could be a big driver to get like initial wish lists. As much as people are like, Steam doesn't really help you, that 30%, it's crazy. It's not true. Steam actually can be a very big driver of people buying and wish listing your game. you know, your own marketing aside. Obviously, your own marketing is very important as well. It is October 16th. We've been doing about 10 days, less than 10 days development. Let's first get what we need. Basic gameplay loop. Survive as long as possible in a blockout arena. So we'll start with a basic loop that's not technically the 5 floors, but it's surviving as long as possible. We probably want the items system to be in. So buffs, etc. We want the weapon systems for the melee and ranged weapon. And we also probably want the spells / abilities system. We need at least a basic version of all of these. We don't really need a main menu. I don't really care too much about a main menu. We have a settings menu, so I guess we can get that out. We already have that. Enemy spawners. Yeah, we'll need some... Well, that would probably go under the basic gameplay loop. So enemy spawning. You know what'd be funny is people start enjoying this gameplay loop so much that we just end up saying fuck it, and this just becomes the game where you just survive as long as possible in an arena. Oh, imagine. Can you imagine? I don't want to imagine. Well, actually, I could. Maybe I do want to imagine. Actually, that could maybe be good. Let's see. Infinite enemy spawning curve over time. Basic gameplay loop. Okay. I think so. We have all of the rest of October, which is around 15 days, 14 days we minus today. 14 days, get 2 weeks. Then we could potentially have all of November, which is 44 days, 45 days, give or take, of development time. I think 45 days is probably way more than enough. Probably way more than enough. If not, maybe too many days. Maybe that's too much. Maybe we aim for 30 days. Maybe we aim for middle of November. And then that pushes me to get some sprints out of the way. Middle of November. Okay, I'm thinking, what is the 21st? 21st is a Friday. Let's do... It's going to be closed testing, so hopefully people will understand that it's going to be buggy as shit, probably. Let's just aim for the 21st then. Do I have anything on the 21st? Let's just aim for the 21st. I think 21st is a good date. It gives us a month and a little bit. Okay, so that becomes our aimed date. I'm expecting full polish and Zagor bugs with the enemies. Now, what does that mean in terms of enemy variation? We have a couple, but they're obviously like really playtest enemies just to fuck around with. I don't know if this is actually the enemies that I want in the game. How many enemy variants would we want to aim for? 8 enemies. We could have a guy that does ground slams. We could have a flying enemy, perhaps. Sure. We can aim for 8, and if anything, we downscope. I think we can aim for that. I think that can be a good date to aim for. So now that gives us something to aim for. Gives us a date to work towards. And things that we need to get done. Now, obviously, the combat's going to be pretty important. Weapon system. Getting this going and working is obviously going to be a progressive thing, but yeah. Okay. I think we can do that. I think we can make do with that. I don't know if we'll have all of the elements here, like PCG and whatnot. I don't think we will. But in a blockout arena, I think that should be enough. It's going to be very Devil Daggers pilled, I guess, because we'll have the like basic enemies starting in, and then like over time it'll build up from there. Okay. Good. All right. We know what to aim for, which is good. We're aiming. We're not just aimlessly flailing our arms in random directions, hitting random things all around us. Okay. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow, because it's a Friday tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Yeah. 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 Yes, November 21st. That's the goal. Oh yeah, there is Arc. Wait, is Arc Raiders tomorrow? I thought it was the 20th or something. Anyways, whatever. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for lurking the tag and sticking around. We're gonna get some progress done. Oh yeah. Oh, it's the free weekend. You're right. It's the test. Pog. All right. Goodbye. Totally not stream tomorrow. I'm just kidding. I will.